I cannot describe the excitement when I received it. I mean, my team members were here in the office and they saw my face, and I mean, I was like a baby. I was so happy. I was like a baby in front of a candy, you know?
Hi friends of Rebecca, you're most welcome back to this channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, you've made such a right decision, because today we are going to see a few very rare people who have gotten such a big opportunity, big privilege to get a UAE Golden Visa. I know you have some questions. You've been asking me, what is a Golden Visa? What are the importances? So today is the day. Just tune in and don't go away. It's so nice to have you back at my channel. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Rebecca. How are you?
Doing fine. So nice to see you. And then it's so even nicer that now that I'm seeing you, you're one of those few people, very few people that have the privilege to get a golden visa in UAE. Please
Indeed.
Talk about the excitement when you received it.
I cannot describe the excitement when I received it. I mean, my team members were here in the office and they saw my face, and I mean, I was like a baby. I was so happy. I was like a baby in front of a candy, you know? I was so really happy. The reason being is I've been here in the UAE for 7 years almost.
Yeah.
And I've always considered this country as my country, as the country I'm living in. And I always loved this country so much. And getting the Golden Visa, I just felt like, wow, now it's home. Like, it's really the place I will stay in. I won't depend on anyone. I just depend on myself. And I'll be staying here and building my family and my career here. And that was like a real enjoyment for me.
Wow. Thanks to the UAE government.
Yes.
So few people have been asking, what is a golden visa?
Yes. Yeah. So very simply, a golden visa is a long-term residence visa for the UAE. It can be a 5-year or a 10-year visa. And the main characteristic of a golden visa is that you are self-sponsored. So you're not sponsored by an entity, a legal entity, whether your own legal entity or your employer. You're sponsored by yourself.
What is the duration of the visa?
So it can be a 5 years visa, but mostly it's 10 years visa.
Okay, so because before we had only 2 years and 3 years.
Exactly.
Unlike now that the golden visa can take up to 10 years.
Yes.
So what are the benefits of the golden visa?
So as I said, like mainly it's linked to the fact that you're self-sponsored. You're not sponsored by a legal entity or by your employer. Why is it really something important? It's important for me as a corporate service provider. It's very important that we have the visa on the person and not on the legal entity. The reason being is that we are free to move our corporation around if we want to.
Yes.
So, for example, today I'm in a free zone and I work in the free zone and my visa is on myself, not on the company. Then tomorrow I can wake up and say, oh, by the way, I need to do business in the mainland. So I can move my business from the free zone to the mainland without having to go through the hassle of canceling the visa, etc., etc. So for me, as a corporate service provider, that's a very important point. But as an individual, if I look at it from my personal side, I really enjoy the fact that I'm not depending on anyone. It's a self-sponsored visa, and that's really important. Of course, it's a 10 years visa. So of course, as you said, we went from 2 to 3 years to 10 years renewable visa. So that's absolutely a point that we need to stress out here, that in terms of money, it represents savings, but also in terms of time, which is even more valuable than money. It's a time saved that we don't have to go every 2 or 3 years through the process of renewing the visa. Then, of course, third very important point is that your direct family, your spouse and your children can also benefit from the 10 years 10-year visa. Yes, you can sponsor them. That's a very important point. You can also sponsor your parents, but that will be a 1-year duration renewable. But the option is there.
They are here,
and then you can also sponsor another of your executive directors or your advisors in the business context of it. And then there are all the, how do you say, the light positive points that are, for example, that the banks are considering golden visa holders with better terms, or when you travel, like last time we had some restrictions on some countries, but the Golden Visa holders could fly back home. Like recently they announced that, for example, if you are from a country where you cannot convert your driving license automatically, then the Golden Visa gives you the right to go directly to the test without having to take the classes, and so on and so forth. And we are expecting even more good news to come for the Golden Visa holders.
If someone hears all those things, of course, anybody would like to have those. But the question is it for everyone, or there's some kind of requirements required before you can have it?
There are requirements, but as I like to say, I think every one of us has a hidden talent or a very visible talent that he can bring up front and bring ahead and work on it to get a Golden Visa. There are criteria. There are business criteria, there are investment criteria, there are special talents criteria, and I really love that term.
Yes.
I love that we can find in our set of talents a special one and use it to build a case for a Golden Visa. So no, not everyone is eligible, but a lot of people are eligible and they ignore it. So what we want to tell to all these people is please come to us, please talk to us, because you might be eligible, and if you are, then we will do our best to get you a Golden Visa.
Is it something someone can apply on their own? How did you get your own? I mean, it's not something you just go and find somewhere easy like that. Yes. How did you get your own?
So I don't think it's easy to just go on your own and apply, because there are a set of criteria that you need to go through a professional to put together, analyze, and make sure you are eligible. Of course, there's always the option to go directly to the immigration and apply for it. Yes. But the rate of success, I think, is not very high. I'm not sure, but I think it's not very high. But you can come through a service provider like us, and we can assess your eligibility, and we can make sure you get nominated. And once you are nominated, then we can go to immigration and process the visa. And in this kind of scenarios, you're kind of 100% sure you will get it.
Anissa, thank you so much for that information. It already feels easier to get one now. Do you have any remarks before I can let you go?
Yes. What I want to say is that, I mean, the UAE, for me, from my own experience and for the experience of my clients and friends and people around me, is an extraordinary chance. I think it's an extraordinary opportunity. In Turnkey Family Office, we like to say that it's a country of endless opportunities, and I really feel it is. So wherever you are, whoever you are with, whatever you are doing, you might want to stop and think about, is there an opportunity for me in Dubai and in the UAE? And the answer is yes, there is. And we would like to welcome here in the UAE as many people as possible, and people who have something to bring to the UAE and who wants to receive from the UAE. But really, it's a country of where the win-win situation is more real than anywhere else. So please consider, and if you want to come, we would be really pleased to help you.
It's been such an enjoyable show. I hope all your questions have been answered. If you have anything else you would like to know about a UAE Golden Visa that has not been tackled today, you may put it in the comment section and I'll get it answered. Before we go, this video has been brought to you by none other than DK Arts and Entertainment, your best at videography, photography, and media management. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.